You know how it is, right? You get a little scrape, a small cut, you clean it up, slap a bandage on it, and pretty much forget it exists. But what happens when a wound just doesn't heal? When it turns into a real, complex medical problem? Well, today we're going to pry open the expert's toolbox and take a good look at the hidden science of professional wound care. And trust me, what we find inside might just change how you see that humble little bandage forever. So when is a simple bandage not enough? It's a great question because it really challenges our whole just walk it off approach to injuries. For most of us, a bandage is the beginning, middle, and end of the story. But for a healthcare professional, oh no, that's just page one of a very, very complex instruction manual. And this lays out the difference perfectly. On one hand, you've got your simple, everyday cut. Your body's healing crew kicks into gear, and with a little bit of protection, it gets the job done. But on the other hand, a chronic wound, well, that's like a construction project that's completely stalled out. It's a complex site that needs an expert manager to handle the moisture, fill in the deep spots, and fight off invaders. Okay, so here it is, the first and maybe most important rule from the pros, and it's probably going to surprise you. Everything you've ever heard about letting a wound air out, yeah, forget it. Modern wound care is built on the exact opposite idea, moist healing. A moist environment is like a perfect little greenhouse for new cells, helping them grow and move into place. That dry, crusty scab you always thought was a good sign, turns out it's actually a roadblock that slows down proper healing. So, keeping that core moist is best principle in mind, let's look at our first set of tools. Before you can start rebuilding, you've got to prepare the site. That all starts with cleaning the wound. But even right here, the choice of what to use is a critical scientific decision. Yeah, this isn't about just grabbing whatever you have in the medicine cabinet. An expert looks at the wound and asks, okay, what's our goal here? Are we just doing a gentle cleaning, or do we need to bring out the big guns to fight something more serious, like that stubborn bacterial fortress we call a biofilm? And this is where it gets really strategic. It's all about trade-offs. You've got your basic saline solution. It's gentle, it's cheap, but it's not going to kill any germs. Then there's polyhexanone, or PHMB. This stuff is fantastic against bacteria and biofilm, but you've got to know your chemistry. You can't mix it with iodine. And speaking of iodine, it's a powerful disinfectant for sure, but it's way too harsh to use for a long time, and you've got to be cautious with anyone who has thyroid issues. The right choice is always specific to the wound. Let's tackle the next big challenge. You know, cleaning the surface is one thing, but what if a wound isn't just a flat surface? What if it's a deep cavity that needs to be carefully filled so it can heal from the inside out? Right. You can't just put a flat dressing over a deep hole. That would just trap fluid and bacteria underneath, and you'd have a much, much bigger problem on your hands. What you need is a special material that can get down in there, fill the space, manage all that moisture, and basically tell the body, okay, start building new tissue from the bottom up. And the star player for that job is a material called alginate. And get this? It often comes from seaweed. How cool is that? These incredible little fibers are packed into a deep wound, and as they start to absorb fluid, they transform into this soft, moist gel. This gel fills the cavity perfectly, soaks up any extra liquid, and maintains that ideal moist environment we keep talking about. So, an expert is going to reach for these alginates or similar materials called hydrofibers whenever they're dealing with deep wound pockets or wounds that are producing a lot of fluid. The clinical term for that is exudate. They are absolute masters at managing moisture and are a key tool for breaking up bacterial biofilm, all while creating that perfect little healing zone. All right, time for a critical piece of the puzzle, security. An open wound is like an open door with a welcome mat for infection. So our expert's toolbox absolutely has to include specialized materials designed to be the security guards, fighting off any harmful bacteria. And here are three of the heavy hitters. You've got silver ions, which are a broad-spectrum killer. They're effective against all sorts of microbes, but they can leave a harmless dark stain behind. Then there's medical-grade honey. And no, I'm not talking about the kind in your pantry. This stuff uses a natural osmotic effect to fight bacteria, but some people say it can cause a stinging sensation. And there's our old friend PHMB again. Gentle on the good tissue, but still powerful against that nasty biofilm. Each one is like a different security system for a different threat level. So, we've cleaned the wound, we've filled in the deep spaces, and we've set up our security. Now it's time for the final step, building the perfect protective cover. And this is not just about a single bandage. It's a whole, carefully constructed system of layers.
Think of it like you're dressing for really bad weather. The primary layer is your base layer. It's the alginate or the silver dressing that's right up against the wound, doing the main job. The secondary layer, that's your jacket. It's usually a foam pad or some gauze that holds everything in place and absorbs any extra moisture. And finally, you've got edge protection. That's a barrier cream that goes on the healthy skin around the wound, protecting it from getting soggy and irritated.
So what have we learned through all this? Well, this isn't just a random assortment of products. It's a system, and it's guided by a really clear set of principles. Let's try to boil it all down to a few golden rules that every single wound care expert lives by. Let's just run through these core principles. First, always protect the healthy skin around the wound. Second, if you even suspect that there's a stubborn biofilm, you need that 1-2 punch of physical cleaning plus an antimicrobial dressing. Third, make sure the tapes and bandages you use to hold it all down are gentle on the skin. And maybe the most important rule of all, you have to be adaptable. A wound is a living, changing thing, and the treatment has to evolve right along with it. We started with just a simple bandage and ended up in this incredible world of seaweed fibers, silver ions, and multi-layer systems. It just goes to show you, healing isn't just passive waiting. It's an active, hidden science. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other part of our everyday health is far more intricate and fascinating than we ever realized?